Here's how you can create a survey in Google Forms. To begin with, make sure you're logged into your account, and up in the little 9 squares up here, sometimes called the waffle button, if you select that and you choose Forms, that will get you into the right location to create your forms. To start with, you can click on the plus sign and it will create a new blank form for you. And then you're going to give the form a title. If you want to name this document with the same name, all you have to do is click up here where it says Untitled Form, and when you click, it will take whatever is written here and put it here. Now there is a form description underneath. That's optional whether you use that or not, but if you need to tell someone for directions for your survey or why you're doing the survey, this is a good place to put that right here. And then you have one question that's already included, and from there you are going to just start typing in your question. Now what's kind of cool is if you start typing something and Google can detect what it is as far as a question, it will automatically change this. So this just said multiple choice, but when I typed in first name, it changed it to short answer because it guessed that that's probably the kind of response I was going to want. Now from here, if this is not correct, I can obviously go to the drop down and choose a different kind of response from here. In addition, if I have similar questions, for example, if I wanted the next one to be last name, I could hit duplicate and it will make another copy of that, and then I only have to change the information in the question. Obviously, this is if I can get rid of the question. And here, if I want to make sure they answer this, I'm going to choose required, and then it will put a little asterisk by the question, so they have to answer it in order to go on. Now, this little 3 dots here stands for more. And a couple things you can do in here. One is a description. If you needed to add some directions here, that's how you could add those in if there were some specific things you needed to put in there. Now, again, to add another question, you can duplicate or you can do the plus sign to add another question and continue on from there. There are also some additional things that you can add. So you can add a title, an image if you need to, a video, or a section break. Those are other things that you can add. The majority of time you just want a series of questions going down. If you get a question out of order, there's a little section right here. There's about 6 little dots and I get the 4-headed arrow and I can drag these questions around to reorganize them. Now at the top of the screen here you're going to see questions, which is where we're at now, but once you have distributed the survey and you want to see the responses, you're going to click here. Up here on the top, this color palette allows you to change the color. So you can change to solid colors. You can click on the image button and use the built-in images that you see here, or you can upload photos. Keep in mind this is the banner that goes across the top, so that you want to have a long, narrow picture if you're uploading your own image. The preview button, the eye, lets you see what this will look like from the viewer's perspective. And that's always a good idea to check that out to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. That opens up in another tab, so I'm going to close that out. And then the settings button, I'm going to have you click in that so you can check a couple of things. First of all, if you needed their email addresses, you could collect those rather than having them type those in. And this restrict to West Salem School District users. If you are giving this outside of the school district, you'll want to take this off. I also recommend taking it off in case students are signed into their personal emails. That's why sometimes when students try to open up a form, it says their access is restricted, and that's because they're signed into their personal rather than their school, or they're signed into both and Google doesn't know which one to use. So to make it a little easier, I often take it off of that. Under presentation, there are a couple of things. Show progress bar would be if your survey is really long so they know how many questions they have. If you're wanting to reorder the questions, and then show link to submit another response if they're putting in multiple things. And again, most times you would take that out because you don't want them to respond again. Once they submit, what will pop up is your response has been recorded. You can put something in there that fits yours or be a little more pleasant if you'd like to, so you can type your own message there and then make sure you save it when you make those changes. Finally, if you're going to send this out so that people can actually take it, you hit the send button, and it is possible to type in their emails right here. What I recommend, especially in our school setting, is that you go one step over to the link and you copy this link, and you can even shorten it so it's a little bit smaller. And you copy this link, then you can go into your regular email and you'll have your contacts handy, and you can start looking up addresses of who you're going to send this out to, and then that link is available. Or if you're putting this survey out on something else like Edmodo, then it's this link, copy it, use it, that kind of thing. Once you've sent out your survey and you want to see the responses, you open up the form, and the second tab over is Responses. And when you open that up, it automatically gives the responses in graph form. Now, obviously, short answer is going to give the short answer, and then whatever their responses were show up in graph form. Now, you can look at these as a summary, or you can look at how each person responded. So if I click on individual, then it gives me this run through so I can look at each person's response. Finally, and this isn't used as often, but some people do want this, where they can actually create a spreadsheet. So if you click on this, and it actually creates a new spreadsheet with the same name as your form, and it will, when you click create, it will open this up in a new Google Sheet. And some people like this so they can examine the responses a little bit better. And in addition, they can put in some formulas and do some calculations and things like that. So just wanting you to know that that is available as well. Hopefully this gives you some information to create the survey. Please keep in mind that the hardest part of creating any kind of a survey like this is developing the questions and making sure you have a quality question that's going to give you the answers that you need.